Stuart, I have a question.
Yes.
This morning I woke up and I had a thought that I was dreaming about I don't remember. I was having a conversation with someone and it was said, learn how to end conversations. Learn how to end conversations. And I wanted to ask you about that. I think it might have something to do with how I went to bed, just asking for help to open, surrender, and to grow.
Well, the answer is simple. If you have nothing else to say, why continue a conversation? You know? I mean, people just talk and talk and talk. And you ever go to a restaurant? Yeah. It's just nervous energy, it's tension. And mostly people have nothing to say. So it's a lot of ego and this and that, or complaining about this one and that one and the other. I mean, frankly, it's a very good thing to know when to end a conversation. And I think it's what I started this with. When you have nothing to say, why yak away with people? Or, okay, we'll talk about the weather because that's all people are being. And, you talk about things that are not difficult for people to comprehend, that doesn't intimidate them or threaten them. But I think knowing when to stop talking is a very good thing. I really do. Because so much of conversation is not people talking to each other, they're talking at each other. They don't really communicate. They just kind of dump tension on each other. So I don't know why you had a dream about this, but it's a good idea. It's a very good idea. You have nothing to say, why continue talking? Listen, and by listening, you might get something to say, to respond to somebody because you really have heard what they have to say. I mean, is this a major contribution to your spiritual development? I would say no, but it's something important to learn. Certainly, you will conserve energy by knowing when, you'll pardon my Bronxese, to keep your mouth shut. Does anyone else have a question they would like to?
Can you talk a little bit about following your own inner rhythm, your own inner creative rhythm?
Manshi, that's what this meditation is about. In order to follow your own creative rhythm, your inspired you, that's connected with a higher energy that provides inspiration, you have to have a system inside that is capable of doing it and doing it consciously and being grateful for inspiration, be grateful to have a creative life, you know, but you need to have a system inside that is strong enough to be able to do that without kind of running over other people with your thing. That's not living a creative life. Living a creative life is allowing higher energy to flow through and create wonderment around you.
Mhm.
Create really beautiful things that are your life. And then you find your creative path. And there is a voice inside each and every one of us that speaks to this. And basically, what we're trying to do in this meditation class is build an inner life that is strong enough to be able to listen to that voice and allow it to guide our lives. To me, that's what really the most extraordinary thing when people have tapped that level in themselves, that they can truly listen to that inner voice and let it guide them. And not as a way to be imperious to other people or more important than somebody. In fact, listening to that voice makes you less important than everybody. Because you're there, everybody is teaching you. Everybody, life is teaching you when you're listening to that inner voice. There's humility, there's gratitude, and there's a system in you that's connected to higher energy in the universe. And it gives you your own unique voice. There aren't two people sitting in this meditation class now that are going to be able to use the energy in exactly the same way. But everybody here needs to develop a system that allows them to be able to receive that energy and let it be that unique voice speaking through them. Because each of us is unique, we're individual. We can't function if we try to function like anybody else, it's an imitation. But to get the uniqueness, that is a very difficult job, where it isn't ego talking, where you know better than everybody else, and you just kind of run all over everybody, you know?
Mm.
I mean, I understand that because, I write books, I do things like that, and I can't write a book that is just a copy of somebody else's book. It's got to be uniquely my own voice. That voice is my connection with higher energy, comes through me in a unique way, it produces a book, which I'm happy. I was telling Tom Tompkins, a long time ago, he wrote a review of one of my books, absolutely, incredible review. He really got the book. And not too many people really get that book, and he really got it. But it came from a very unique place. And a lot of times I know when I finish these works, I don't even know. I said, who wrote this? How did I write this? Just finished a book that's the same thing. Did I write this? This is amazing. This has got to be somebody else wrote this.
Stuart, can you talk more about the timing aspect?
The timing is every moment, Nancy. Living your life in the present. That's the timing aspect.
Hmm.
If you're living your life thinking about the past or worried about the future, it's all going to be haywire. You're going to just function in the present with tension. But if you're open, the system is strong enough to truly live your life in the now, in the present. That unique voice will flow through you. Again, that's what I'm trying to teach everyone that comes to this meditation. I'm not trying to make students. I'm not trying to make disciples. I'm basically trying to get people to have that unique voice, to build a system inside where they're capable of doing this. And it's living in the moment. You can't write a book, in the past. You have to be, even if you're writing about the past, you have to be present in the moment. The book that Tom reviewed was about the 1960s. But when I wrote that book, my whole presence was in the moment. And it was a unique voice that came through. Now that takes work. It takes building that kind of system inside. And I think what these classes are about is people learning how to do this, to become a child of God, living in the now, in the moment, finding that unique voice. And I know to some of you it might sound this is very hard to do. Well, it is very hard to do. This is not an easy thing to do because for the 8,000th time, the only person you're up against to do what I'm talking about is yourself. It's the only person that you're up against. And when you finally master yourself inside, then that voice can come through you. I mean, I know when I ran a business in New York, I I had to be there. I couldn't be in the future. I couldn't be daydreaming about some future set. I had to be in that moment because you never knew who was going to walk in the door, who's going to ring the phone, what's going to happen. You had to be there. And when I was focused in the moment, business used to thrive. When I was worried about the future and worried about this, and what mistakes I made in the past, nothing worked. I crippled inside. As soon as I got myself focused, things began to thrive. I hope it's clear, I know what I'm talking about is not easy to do, but what I'm talking about is it's an answer to your question, Maggie, and one has to do the work on themselves to get to where they can be a vehicle for that energy. And everybody in your life benefits from that. Parents, your children, your husbands, your wives, your girlfriends, boyfriends, everybody benefits from that because you begin to see everybody clearly and you can interrelate with them and listen to them and let them be, for God's sake. That's the best part. You can let them be. Does anyone else have a question? And just, and people become really beautiful when they live that way. And I don't mean, like hippie style and back in the 60s, I'm free and I'm going on the road. And I mean, yeah, I did that. And, that doesn't that's just a lot of craziness. I'm talking about truly developing yourself as a vehicle for higher energy that lets you live in the moment, in the now. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? And one of the things about freedom is responsibility. You'll never have real freedom without responsibility. And responsibility is treating life and humanity and other people, deferring to them, opening to them, listening to them, letting them be, having patience, and maybe above everything else, forgiveness. Does anyone else have a question? Okay, if there are no more questions. There'll be meditation on Tuesday. Thank you. God bless you all. Thank you for being my teacher. You know, I'm sitting here doing all the talking, but frankly, it's your presence here that brings this all out of me. God bless you all, and thank you.
Oh, Stuart. Thank you forever.
Thank you, Stuart.
You're welcome. Yes.
Easter.
Thank you.